also involve other community because of the undemocratic decision from City Hall and Councilwoman Madison Nguyen. So today, we officially will invite a lot of elected officials, also a well-respected non-Vietnamese within community. Like the first one in our advisory board will be Santa Clara Council Supervisor Pete McHugh. That's also one of our advisory. And ladies and gentlemen, today we involve the new organization that we will officially ask the City Hall to retract all of the statement, the accused or wrongly statement to the Vietnamese American community from Mayor Chuck Reed and also from Councilwoman Judy Chucko. And today is the San Jose Voter for Democracy movement was born today. Ladies and gentlemen, with all of the in the advisory today, we also have a lot of team that we first today we officially will send a letter from the Vietnamese American community from the San Jose Voter for Democracy. We'll ask first, based on the last meeting we have in our community, about more than 2,000 people that have gathered. In that meeting, all of you have asked that the City Hall will have to reconsider its undemocratic decision to name that business district, name back them to Little Saigon. That's the first one we're going to ask. Yeah. Yeah. The second, the mayor and some of the city council members have a public statement that disrespect and wrongful about the Vietnamese American community. Today, we ask them have to retract those statements from their announcement to the Vietnamese community. And as more than 2,000 people have asked that the Vietnamese American community have no longer respect and trust and confident on Councilwoman Madison Nguyen. So today we're going to send her a letter and ask her to resign immediately. And in order to save taxpayer money, the City Hall money, and our time and effort, if she doesn't resign, and then we have to go to a more expensive to the taxpayer, which is a recall process medicine. So ladies and gentlemen, Councilwoman Madison Nguyen, she better save the taxpayer money, save our money and time, save the City Hall money by resigning immediately. And ladies and gentlemen, we are continue. This is one of the democratic acts that we can do to let the City Hall, to let the public know that our community have to be respected and cannot be imposed on any undemocratic decision. So every Black Tuesday, we will have a rally in front of City Hall until the City Hall have a solid decision about our community and retract their statement about wrongfully about our community. And we expect that Councilwoman Madison Nguyen have to answer it. Either she have to resign immediately or we have to go to the recall process. And again, we also ask you on January 16th, which is on Wednesday, City Hall will have their first annual meeting in front of the Tom McHenry Convention Center. On that day, we will ask the whole community to have a rally in front of Tom McHenry Convention Center to let all the press and all of the city official know our voice, the people voice of the Vietnamese American community. And right now, that all the press, we have the media kit today that we will send it to you. So we checked with one of our team members here, Mi Phương. She will introduce the media kit. So again, today, the two things we're going to ask you today. First, that the new San Jose Voter for Democracy movement was born today. And today, the Vietnamese American community officially sent a letter to City Hall today to ask City Hall first to reconsider the decision naming that district is Little Saigon. That's the one we want. Second, Mayor Chuck Reed and Councilwoman Judy Chucko have to publicly retract their statement about the Vietnamese American community. And thirdly, Councilwoman Madison Nguyen have already lost the trust and the confidence from the Vietnamese American community as well as the District 7 constituent. So we ask her to resign immediately. Otherwise, in order to say if she have a decent enough to save money for the pair, and then otherwise the community have to go on the recall process from Councilwoman Madison Nguyen. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce one of our key members here, people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the consistent lack of transparency on the part of Council Wing is what ultimately led to the undemocratic decision on November 20th. And you will see that pattern repeatedly again and again as you look at the whole naming process. However, her lack of transparency and total disregard of her constituents went all the way back, even during the Vietnamese American Community Center. As you remember, in 2006, the City Council approved $2.8 million for the Vietnamese American Community Center. Quietly, she handed this up to a personally chosen board of directors composed only of a long list of real estate developers, not community asked of it. This appointment only made known to the community when she sent out an invitation to a dinner to present this board. So who is Council Member Wing serving? Not us. It's some special interest group. That's what she is serving. Now in June, now back to the naming of this Vietnamese business district. Back in June 5th, the San Jose City Council approved of this project. However, on that day, there was only 3 Vietnamese was there. One is the owner of Vietnam Town and 2 other Vietnamese. 3 Vietnamese on that day versus more than 1,000 people show up on November 10. That's something that cannot be dismissed. Why doesn't she publicize this meeting? What is she hiding within this meeting? That's the question that everybody asking, but she never dialogue or give any answer to that question.
Giúp Vĩ Phương cái speaker, giúp Vĩ Phương speaker nó nặng quá. Lớn.
On August 15th, during an RDA meeting, Councilmember Wing demanded a survey in which he said those people is going to give us a name, and whatever name come up the most vote, that's what City Council going to take into consideration. It's the most fairest way on how we're going to achieve this resolution. But when the survey didn't result to what she wanted, because Little Saigon was the #1 choice, she just threw it away. This is the promise that she broke, as clearly pointed out by Councilmember Constant. Shouldn't elected officials be held responsible for what they promised?
Yes.
In September 23rd, Committee for Little Saigon held a rally at YB High School. Councilmember Wing was invited, but she chose not to come to listen to our voice. Instead, she attended a lunch by a New Saigon endorsers. Councilmember Wing claimed that she's impartial. She's not listening to one side or the other, but her action doesn't say that. She's very partial towards or against us, the Little Saigon supporters. On November 15, Councilmember Wing, on the press conference, announced her choice for the name, Saigon Business District. This is the name that come last in the city survey. She claimed this to be a compromise between faction that won Little Saigon and faction that won New Saigon to avoid committee division over the name. This is not a compromise. Little Saigon to SBD is more than 7-to-1 ratio. How can she call it a compromise? SBD was brought up and soundly rejected. by the stakeholders of that survey. How can she call it a new naming option if it's already on the original survey? A genuine compromise should start with dialogue. She always refused to meet with the committee or the community to talk about this issue. Also, this so-called compromise was kept a secret. Nobody know about this until the day of the press conference. Should open government keep everything a secret from their constituents, even something as trivial as a naming option? The Council Wing argument for community division is faulty. Are we united or are we divided?
United!
More than half of the Council member wing claim of 15 organizations have been retracted their endorsement of New Saigon, and all those letters was informed to Council member Wing, but she continued to attempt to hide the existence. Council member Wing. Council member Wing. Hello. Councilmember will continue to attempt to hide the existence of these letters. She did not acknowledge their existence on November 20th, and we all remember she keeps saying there's 15 associations on that night, and even now she never acknowledged that they ever exist. On November 20th, more than 1,000 Little Saigon supporters show up at City Hall with more than 200 people speaking in support of the name Little Saigon. 3 council members opposed her motion. Our council member Constant, Chu, and Oliverio clearly pointed out the illegitimacy of her proposal with supporting data. Other council members who supported her could only use the excuse that she's your elected official. So we are siding with her because she knows what best. Question: why does Council member Wing deny Little Saigon? Why?
Why?
Why spend taxpayer dollar to make the very people whom you claim to honor unhappy? Why? On November 21st, Council member Wing went on the Vietnamese television and insult more than 1,000 people who show up at that meeting as jobless individuals who have some free time to spend. Why does she need to demean and persecute us? Why? What does she have against Little Saigon supporters? She got what she wants. Why does she need to continue to insult us? Why? Over the year, countless attempts of the community to ask for a better, fair, and transparent representation from Council member Wing, but what do we get? Nothing. Everything just gets worse and worse. So that's why the community no longer have any trust and confidence in her ability as our elected representative, which is why today we are asked her to resign immediately to save taxpayer from a costful recall. Thank you.
Reclamation!
Ladies and gentlemen, in closing our press conference today, and then of course I will have Minh Huy translate to Vietnamese. We would like to introduce one of our public relations officer. You all know very well that she's president of Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce, Mrs. Han Yao.
Thank you so much. I'm very proud, very honored to be here with all of you under the rain like this. I think we are going to have a victory in 2008. Am I right? You know, when you honor a person or a community for their contributions to the city, county, state, or country, you honor them with respect, dignity, and class. However, on November 20, 2007, when the City Hall wanted to recognize the contributions of the Vietnamese American people to each City Council member Nguyen, Mayor Chakrit, and the other 6 council members, actually dishonored the Vietnamese American community, disrespected their constituents. They were totally insensitive to the community needs and wishes. When we left Vietnam, we left behind all the things that were dear to our heart. Some of us even lost their loved ones. Millions of Vietnamese people died in seas in search for freedom. We came here because of political reasons, not economic reasons. 32 years ago, when we arrived here in San Jose, Vietnamese refugees lived and worked in areas that the local people would not prefer to live in or patronage. Not only we have lived and worked in the so-called unsafe areas in San Jose, but we've actually helped revitalize and beautify those areas like Center Road, Thule Road, Story Road, and this very street, East Santa Clara Street, that the City Council 6 years ago were proud enough to choose it to have the City Hall built right here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vietnamese American people are like all of you and your ancestors that came here to help build this city. We earned the recognition from the city of San Jose, and we earn it the old-fashioned way. If the simple matter like this, to recognize a community for its contribution to the city, that council member Nguyen doesn't even handle it properly, don't you think we should question about her ability to handle a more serious issues in the city? Not only she lost the confidence, the trust, and the respect from the community, but she also jeopardized the mayor and city council for approving her acts. We urge the mayor and city council to take corrective action immediately. We ask that all other communities or individuals that have helped or have been disrespected by the San Jose City Council to please join us to help restore the trust, the transparency, and the confidence in San Jose. We are counting on you, and we know we have your support and your help. Thank you.
Kính thưa toàn thể quý đồng hương Tị Đàn Cộng sản miền Bắc California. Chúng ta có mặt đông đảo trong một ngày có thể nói là rất là lạnh và cũng là mưa ngày hôm nay để chúng ta đòi hỏi và tranh đấu cho quyền, cho cái tiếng nói dân chủ, cho sự công bằng và danh dự của cộng đồng Việt Nam chúng ta. Chúng ta có mặt hôm nay xin được chính thức công bố phong trào cử tri San Jose đòi lại dân chủ. Với qua quyết nghị vào ngày 9 tháng 12 vừa qua, hơn 2.000 đồng bào đã tham dự buổi họp khoáng đại ngày hôm đó, đã cùng lên tiếng. Thứ nhất là chúng ta sẽ có hàng tuần vào mỗi thứ Ba đen, chúng ta sẽ có những cuộc biểu tình tại trước tòa thị chính San Jose đây để phản đối cái sự quyết định phản dân chủ và một sự áp đặt chính trị của nghị viên Madison Nguyễn trong cái vấn đề đặt tên tại thành phố San Jose. Thứ hai, chúng ta chính thức gửi lá thư đến Hội đồng thành phố yêu cầu ông thị trưởng Chakrit và một số nghị viên phải xin lỗi cộng đồng Việt Nam chúng ta vì những lời miệt thị nhục mạ đến cộng đồng chúng ta. Thứ ba, chúng ta gửi lá thư chính thức tới nghị viên Madison và yêu cầu bà ta phải từ chức ngay bây giờ. Và nếu nghị viên Madison không từ chức thì chúng ta sẽ tiến hành thủ tục bãi nhiệm bà Madison. Kính thưa quý vị, sau ngày 20 tháng 11 có thể nói là chúng ta có thể nói là một ngày đau buồn cho một cái nền dân chủ tại thành phố San Jose này. Qua tất cả các cuộc trưng cầu dân ý, qua ngay chính phiếu thăm dò của cơ quan tái phát triển thành phố gửi đi đến khu vực trên đường Story, mà nơi mà hội đồng thành phố chọn đặt tên, thì tất cả những cuộc trưng cầu dân ý này đều đã cho thấy là tên Little Saigon thân yêu của chúng ta đều dẫn đầu rất xa. Kính thưa quý vị, thì chúng ta trong thời gian sắp tới là phong trào cử tri San Jose đòi dân chủ sẽ tiếp tục vận động, và rất mong sự tiếp tay yểm trợ của tất cả quý đồng bào để chúng ta phải làm sao giành lại, đòi lại sự công bằng, sự danh dự cho cộng đồng của chúng ta. Xin cảm ơn tất cả quý vị.
Kính thưa quý vị, chúng tôi đã làm đã làm một cái media kit để gửi, tức là một cái folder để gửi tới cho giới truyền thông Hoa Kỳ, non-Vietnamese media, và chúng tôi hy vọng là sẽ có đủ thời giờ để dịch những cái media kit đó ra tiếng Việt cho quý vị truyền thông Việt ngữ luôn. Và chúng tôi đã đi gặp rất là nhiều media truyền thông Việt Mỹ, media của non-Vietnamese đó, và cái question của chúng ta ở đây là whatever business agenda or politics agenda for whoever support behind Madison, we the Vietnamese community just want an honest, the integrity from this issue, the naming issue. City Council must let us know the transparency in this matter. Don't use any politics game. Don't use the game of democracy with our community. Why you try to open a lot of public hearing, send out a lot of survey using taxpayer money to do the democracy game with us, but you just disregard the people's voice on this. That's the message we send to the media and the city council. Cảm ơn quý vị. Yeah.